just some filament in the line. So if I cut it, this should just come off. And if I don't want to cut it, I have to open the whole box, which has screws over there. I already screwed out. There is also a screw, and there, and at the top there, and at the bottom there are screws. I now got it out, and you can see my filament melted backwards and probably got stuck in there, and it also broke halfway through, so that could also be a problem, because there are the extruder gears, and if they crush too hard on a brittle filament, this can break, and I think that's probably the case what happened. And I don't think I actually had a clock, but let's see. To check if I have a clock, I'm gonna insert my filament. I'm directly checking if the extruder is okay. So if there now comes filament out, then it's okay. And yes, there it is. You can see it. It looks pretty alright, so this is not the problem. The problem is there. I'm now gonna pull the filament backwards. If I do turn the extruder, then nothing happens, which indicates I have to fully unscrew this part, because first the extruders that would go down, so extrude my material, then nothing happens. And if I do this again and push a little bit on this filament intake, there's also nothing that happens. Again, pressing the button, and there's nothing happening. So there's definitely something going on inside the gearbox. So I'm now gonna try to get footage of me taking it apart. I already unscrewed this one. Now I'm gonna switch the bit and unscrew the next cover plate. So there are 4 screws. Like I already mentioned, I already unscrewed one, so there are 3 more screws. I wish they did this not with screws, because it's just a cover plate. It's not even the extruder thing, it's just the cover. So they could also made this with magnets like the other cover, but they decided not to, which is sad. Okay, so now it comes off. If the cable was not too short, so wait for it. Still the cable. Okay, now it comes off. And now you can see there's the lever which would cut the filament, and there's the gearbox inside. Now we have to remove 3 screws, because you can see there's just a cut line, so only the first half of it came off. And yeah, just those 3 screws I'm gonna take out now. And then we should see the inside of the direct extruder. And if you do this, you can probably turn on or turn off the heating element, because you're only gonna burn yourself if you touch it. You can hear some vibrations. I think it's the heating element which touches the fan and makes some vibration. Those are some long screws, which are black. I can show you for a second. And now this whole thing comes off. Yeah, I already had the case that this gear this can, I think, also pop off, which then will be in there. And when you rebuild it, you also have to line up the shaft with this bearing, which can sometimes be a little hard. Yeah, now we should see something in there. Yeah, so then I have to push through some new filament, and hopefully it does not break, and hopefully it just comes out, but it does not, which is not great, so I have to take it more apart. So I now got the extruder part out, which fits like this in there. So this curved in part has to touch the filament down there, and there you can see my problem. It's like a thickened part which came from the hot end, which then went back and hardened in there, which led to this whole problem, and the extruder was clogged. You can see I can just easily slide it with a screwdriver down. I'm just touching the filament, but you can also touch... no, you can only touch the filament. So now a brittle part broke, which I can get rid of. So I now decided to push backwards some filament, so I'm now inserting the filament through the hot end side, so that it's this hole, and then I'm pushing it through like from the back. I hope this could help me get my filament out, but it seems like not so, which is pretty bad. And I'm also unable to put it in from there. I also tried a stiffer filament. I can feel that it is in there, but I'm not able to push it through like more than this, and now another brittle part fell out. I'm pushing through again. Pushing. Yeah. Oh my god, it did work. I am so unbelievably happy. Oh, and it snapped again. I hate this filament, really. I hate it so much. It's some old filament, I have to say. And it's such as in the pain in the ass. You can't imagine. It really is brittle, and I should have tested this before, because I can just simply snap it, which is really bad for filament, like you see now. So always use pretty decent filament. I now got the filament out here, and I hope it does not break. I'm now gently pushing, pulling and pushing, and some loose brittle part fell out again, and I'm gonna push again, and it's there again, and it's out again. I got to rethink what I'm doing. Yeah, it's also not a large piece, but those are your options, because it does not seem like you can turn this thing apart and get to the bowden tube directly, which would be so much easier. I got another printer where you can just easily remove the bowden tube from the outside, and this would be a charm. It took me like half an hour. I have fully teared down the extruder, and I'm now gonna put it back together to get some... Oh, it's hot. Sorry. That should not be the case. I should have turned it off. Yeah, I'm gonna put it back together, and you can now see how this thing has to be put together. So let's start. I have to start with the extruder, because that's the first part which has to go in here. I recommend to pull back the filament if possible. and it fits right there. You have to watch out for the cutting knife, so it's behind the spring, so I mean in front, and it's a really tight fit. You have to line up some things, and you need to use the long screws. I hope you can see it. Yes, okay, it's possible. I will just turn the camera a little bit. Okay, and then it is just screwing back together. So I'm gonna remove the top plate so I can see a little bit better. And next screw. For this part it's only 3 long screws. It's the black ones, and they should just easily fit in, but you see now I already did a bad lineup. It's not properly lined up. Now it is, and now it should snap in, or it should be screwable. It's not snappable, it's screwable. There are no magnets on this part, and at the time I screwed it in, I hope the hot end is cold. No, it's not really touchable, so I'm gonna use my pliers. You see there is a long side heatsink and a short side heatsink, and you have to put the long side heatsink back there to the plastic. So I'm gonna try doing this while holding the camera so you can see how it fits in. That would be the ideal position, but I can't handle screwing, holding and filming at the same time, so I have to put you down. I have to change the bit because those silver screws are a little bit larger, have a larger bit size, and then I have to insert those screws. Okay, that's so much for the first one. There also is a second one, which I'm now not gonna find, which is bad. Okay, I found it. It was it was under my bed. So I'm now gonna screw it back in. For the hot end you should rather tighten it pretty good, because this should not wobble. And it also counts for the extruder. And something does not sound great. There was some plastic inside, I guess. And what is the problem with you guy? Why are you so loud? I think this fan touches the heatsink, but that's not a big deal, it's just a noisy thing. Then I put back on this cover, but I should before test if there's a filament output. So I'm gonna heat the nozzle back up to like 220 or whatever it says on the box of your filament spool. And then in between I'm gonna screw back the cover screws for this plastic part, and I have to switch back to another bit, which is done right now, and I'm not really able to access both sides at the same time, so I'm gonna shift the whole thing to the side, the whole extruder, and then I'm trying to put in the screws. It's 2 per side, so at the right side there are 2, and on the left side there are 2 screws. I have to gently press the plastic back in position, and then I'm gonna do it for the other side. I'm gonna start now with the lower part, so maybe you can see something. I am not sure if the camera is aligned, but that's not that bad. And if you're putting it back together, this plastic cover doesn't need much torque, so don't screw it in super tight, because you will have to put it back out at some point. And then there's the magnetic part. I'm not sure if this is in every revision, but I got it. I also got the new lights, and I'm now driving it back to the middle, and it's aligned, so it's 220 degrees. My filament is in the extruder, and I'm now pushing it out and into the hot end, and I really hope I don't have to. I have to tear down everything again. It's such a mess. And the first drop is forming, and it dropped. I will show you. It's the back. Yes, there it is. And it's dropping. Okay. You can see my filament in there. It's just really brittle, and it snaps really easily. Well, I mean, it already snapped, so you can see. It was this spool of filament, which was like 1 to 2 years old, and I'm not sure why, but at some point it does snap, and there are also some other points which look like pretty normal, but those snapping points are so bad because the extruder gas just tear it down. It's just not possible. It will break in the extruder or in the Bowden tube, which is really bad and not what I want, so I'm not sure what to do with this filament. Maybe drying it, maybe throwing it away, maybe the comments can help.